I've noticed this past week that I say or speak about four things on repeat when I'm coaching homeschool moms. And though these don't apply to every homeschool mom, and I say other things too, I have been noticing that there are four things that I repeat, and I wanted to share them with you today. But if we haven't already met, hi, I'm Teresa Wiedrich. I am a graduated homeschool mom of four, and over the last 6 years, I trained and began working as a certified life coach in this homeschool mom space. I'm a huge advocate for women really owning their lives, for choosing their choices on purpose for their own purposes. And I help homeschool moms lead their lives and their kids' lives with confidence and clarity, aligned from the inside out. Homeschooling is a remarkable opportunity for life and living and learning alongside your kids. It's one of the most beautiful choices that I've made. And I did it on faith. I hoped it would work out the way that I thought it would. Um, I think I was terrified in the beginning, and that's why I spent almost 2 years researching to try to convince myself of all the good reasons why what I was doing, being off the beaten path, was an effective thing to do. Anytime we do something off the beaten path, it does make us nervous, at the very least nervous. One mom this week shared she's in the early stages of homeschooling, and you know who you are, so thank you for sharing this. I said I would quote it, and here I am. I'm quoting it because it was good. It is so accurate to the early homeschool parent experience, and so I wanted to share it with you. She shared that she was trying to buy confidence by buying curriculum. No truer words. That is a common conversation point in new homeschool mom lives. But I've noticed that there's a few things that I'm saying on repeat with homeschool moms too. When you come for your free aligned homeschool reset session, I will likely ask you something like this. What do you believe in education is anyway? And then I share that I tried to out private school the private school in my early homeschool years. So I decided to study Latin too, and a variety of other languages and so many subjects all in one afternoon. We studied a little bit of Latin, and I learned that the root word for education is educato, which means to raise up. So I often ask moms, who are you raising up? What are you raising up? If you have a child right in front of you, you know that that is the child that you're raising, which of course you know. Or you have 3 of them, or you have 12 of them. These are the kids that you are raising up. Now, if you are going to educate them, then you need to educate the child right in front of you. So how does what you expect yourself to do each day align with the practical activities that are helping to raise that child up? The second thing that I often have conversations about is boundaries and how women can enact boundaries both with their children, with their partners, with family members, with many different people, but not just with people. Sometimes it's also a boundary created around your time away or a boundary around the bathroom. You need to have quiet space in your days, in your weeks, but you most definitely need it in the bathroom. And that can be a challenge. Ask me how I know. I have stories. And boundaries, I've learned, are necessary for us to fuel up our energy reserves, to get quiet, to have our needs met. They are valuable for us, but we often wonder why our kids don't just give us space and hope that our partner will understand that we need something. People don't read minds, and children aren't there to serve, even though we hope that they will watch and notice that we actually have a need, but they don't. They're not here for that reason. We need to be clear on what our boundaries are first and believe them before we require other people to honor them. If you want your kids to believe your boundaries, you need to believe them first. Another thing I often share is that if you're a homeschool mom, you are a human too. And I share that because we are so busy, so occupied with all the things and trying to do all the things for everyone around us that we forget that we haven't eaten lunch or we haven't slept well for a decade or We know we need to burn off some tension, go exercise, but when there's some basic human need that we need to address for ourselves, and though I am definitely not the person to point fingers because I wrote my book for a reason, for this exact reason. Homeschool Mama Self Care, that's the name of my podcast presently. I know the story intimately, and yet you are a homeschool mom, so you deeply care, but you're a human and you have needs. So you need to address them. And the last thing that I want to share with you today that came up in my coaching sessions this past week that I hear myself repeating a lot is that you are the most important curriculum in your child's life. Everything you do, how you speak, what you value, what all the things that you are and how you show up for them, that is your kid's most important curriculum. When you live your purposeful life, your kids will too. I know how this beautiful homeschool life enables you to have so many remarkable memories and so many beautiful photos on your phone that are maxing out your storage. Possibly, I also know that story because that's literally me right now. I can't get rid of those photos, and I can only upload so many to the computer. But there are so many beautiful moments and memories and books and experiences that you have with your kids. It is all worth it. And also, sometimes we second guess ourselves. We second guess our choice because we're doing something off the beaten path. Or at times we feel we've lost our energy before the day even began. We wonder where we went in the middle of this homeschool life. We disappeared. Where did we go? Or we wonder if what we're doing is enough. In fact, I would suggest to you often the question is not so much, am I doing enough, as much as, am I enough? Though sometimes we need to reframe the concept of an education and what our expectations are around all those things. I often see more often than not that it isn't really an enough discussion on what you did today for your homeschool routine, but actually how you feel like you're not enough in your life. And like many of you, these struggles were my own. I struggled with overwhelm. Some people call it burnout. I called it overwhelm at the time. I felt like I was constantly carrying everyone's emotional burdens, that invisible load of motherhood. I was trying to meet impossible standards, primarily myself, my own. And I was still wondering at the end of each season of homeschooling, is this right? Is this really going to serve my kids? I was unconsciously trying to out private school the private school. I thought I could do it all at home. I could bring that private school at home and be a remarkable representation of a homeschooler, no pressure. In the beginning, I thought I could do all the things. I didn't see myself as a separate person. I saw myself as mother, which meant that I was addressing everyone's needs around me. And over the course of time, at a couple of pretty key points, I realized that actually I have interests outside of my family. I am a person outside of my family. So I didn't want to lose myself. I wanted to create a writing practice that was just my own, something that felt like it was mine. But I also wanted my kids to thrive. I wanted them to have a deep sense of purpose and meaning in their lives and do interesting things and grow and develop into who they were meant to be here on this planet. Over time, I discovered ways to reset my expectations, to create reasonable rhythms that actually work. And I reclaimed my confidence, my energy, my presence in my day-to-day experience. And now that's what I do here. I want every homeschool mom to know that there is a beautiful way to live this life, and there's a way that is a very tapping way to live this life, a really challenging way to live this life. But more importantly, there's a really beautiful way to live this life and enjoy it too. So I don't just show up here on YouTube once a week. I also offer a book. I've written a book called Homeschool Mama Self-Care, Nurturing the Nurturer, still available on Amazon. I also offer one-on-one coaching. And I think that is the most direct access to me that actually is the most meaningful for you, where we can get to the clarity for you to shed what's not working so you can show up intentionally in your life. There's also self-paced coaching options, and I call them self-coaching options because they are courses that you can read like a book, but you can engage in the comment section, and I'm happy to interact with you once a week in the comment section, like a coach, but virtually. I've created workbooks and journals and guides that help you to stop second guessing yourself, reclaim your energy, develop your relationships in your home. And the results are that moms wake up with more energy. They feel intentional about their lives. They own their lives and their choices, and they actually enjoy their homeschool mom life again. And of course, I also offer a Confident Homeschool Mom Collective every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific. We are joining together as a community of moms that are supporting each other, are aware that we have this big personal growth journey thing happening right alongside our kids as we're homeschooling them. It's an opportunity to ask questions, share our small wins, and really hold space for each other so we can feel supported in that personal growth journey. If any of this resonates with you and you're like, I want to learn more about the collective, or what is this aligned homeschool reset session you offer free? Just mention in the comments below. I would love to share a few things with you. Thanks for joining me today. You can homeschool and lead your homeschool kids with clarity and confidence and live it aligned from the inside out.